Welcome back to another episode of A Girl Business Podcast. I'm your host, and today we are welcoming, can I talk? Probably not too much of this. Today we are welcoming back Stephanie because not only is she doing a million amazing things, including raising children, working at the theater, but she also has her own nonprofit, Lost Sierra Kids. And today we are at the Gray Eager soccer field where she meets with her group every Thursday morning. And I'm going to let you take it from the top. And don't worry about overlapping the story at all because it's a good one. So we want to hear it a million times.
Awesome. I have to ask, am I your first repeat person?
Yes. Yes.
I get to be your first. I feel so special. Okay. So, hi, I'm Stephanie again. I hail here in Gray Eagle, so now you get to be where I am at. But yes, I have my own nonprofit, Lost Sierra Kids. It was founded in January of 2024. Here is the story of how Lost Sierra Kids came to be. When my husband and I moved out here, this is my third summer, we moved out here and I had just quit my 10-year career being an operations director, and that jumped full-time into stay-at-home momville. And can I just say that is the most abrupt change ever, to go from a job where you're away sometimes 5 hours, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week, sometimes 14 hours a day, and then all of a sudden you're at home all day with the children. It's a lot. So I was desperate for things to do. And a good friend of ours said, hey, there's this great play group that meets from through Plumas First Five, and they meet at the soccer field. You should go check it out. So I went one day with the kids. Claire was 5 at the time, and Colin was 2.5, maybe. Yeah, 2.5, somewhere around there. And so they were right in the age range because it was babies to age 5. And it was a lot of fun. We met some friends, but it was really small. There was only maybe 6 or 7 other families that came every week. And it was wonderful lady named Jay who does, I think you've talked to Jay, Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nursing newborns.
Yeah. So she was the one who was running the playgroup. Well, a couple months later, come October, so this is July when I first came, a couple months later in October, she announced that she was leaving Plumas First Five to jump into nourishing newborns full time, and therefore the playgroup was not going to happen anymore. And all of us moms got really sad because we were like, this is what we do on Thursdays. We meet on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and this is a one thing we get to socialize. And we all got really sad. So a couple of other moms and I decided, well, you know what, let's try and do our own play group. And I have run kids' early childhood music education programs before. So I have been in this realm before, so I knew exactly what I was getting into. And I said, yeah, sure, let's run a play group. I think it would be great. We'll take it over. That lasted about 2 weeks. And then the other moms realized, oh, this is a lot of work. I don't have time to do this much work. So I said, okay, then I'll do it. So come January, I kept the playgroup going just as the same model. I just did all of it by myself. But then I founded the LLC, Lost Sierra Kids LLC. And we are a registered California nonprofit. We are not a 501c3 yet. I need to fundraise about $600 to do the application. Yep, that's our goal right now, is $600 to do our application. To apply for a 501c3 so we can be a actual national nonprofit. But that is how Lost Sierra Kids came to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have a GoFundMe or anything for the raising of the funds?
I have a Venmo, Lost Sierra Kids Venmo, that I take donations. We now have shirts.
Ooh.
So you can get a shirt for a $30 donation. You can get a shirt. I also have stickers that are for a $1 donation. But when this episode airs, this will have already happened. But I'm going to have a booth at the 4th of July where I'm hoping we'll fundraise a whole lot. We're going to set up a play area with a lot of water play and stuff for the little kiddos. I have a take-home craft. We're going to make some ribbon take-home Independence Day flags.
Oh my gosh.
And then, hopefully people will just toss money in our donation buckets as we're trying to grow.
Is that it's in Gray Eagle, I assume?
Yeah, it's right at the park in downtown Gray Eagle, the big grassy area. So for the 4th of July, where it gets absolutely insane in this town because everybody and their mother comes to visit this beautiful place, we will have a booth on their Saturday and Sunday in the park. And we are also going to have a float in the Gray Eagle Parade.
Oh my gosh, how fun!
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
we're gonna have a bunch of moms and the kiddos. We're gonna toss candy. We're gonna play some songs and play some musical instruments, and yeah, just have a grand old time. Our theme is helping the kids of Plumas County grow.
And do you have kid shirts for sale?
I do. I have small, medium, large, and adult. I also have a limited edition large and extra large in black. If you don't like the bright fluorescent yellow, and then yes, I have size small and extra small in youth, and then 2T, 3T, and 4T.
Perfect.
So I try to have all the sizes for everybody.
So check out the booth.
Yeah. Oh, and the kids' shirts are only for a $20 donation. They're less than the adult shirts, so
And
smaller.
it's going to a good cause.
It is. It is. Everything, all donations that I get immediately get funneled right back into the group. So let me talk about what we do every week. So right now, La Sierra Kids meets every Thursday at 11 a.m. here at the soccer field in good weather. In the winter months, we meet at the Mohawk Resource Center, which is right next to the big white barn as you pull into Gray Eagle on the main street. There's like a little resource center. It's think of it like a teeny tiny community center. But we meet there in the winter months when it's cold and snowy and no one wants to be outside. So every week we meet for about an hour. I start with about 15 to 20 minutes of music education. So we do play along songs. I always start with a physical song. So usually it's like a freeze dance, and I'll change up whether it's a seasonal or an animals or something like that to get us moving and singing. And then we always do some instrument play. So usually shakers, bells, rhythm sticks, that sort of thing. We work on things like dynamic, so getting louder, getting quieter, playing, not playing, so stopping and starting, playing fast, playing slow, all sorts of really basic music education stuff, but we turn it into fun games with the songs. And then, so after about 15 to 20 minutes of music time, we move into craft time, which is always set up underneath my little gazebo. And I have these lovely toddler tables, and I'll do usually a take-home craft. Sometimes I do sensory play. Usually I try to do that once a quarter, where I'll bring out rainbow rice, and I make rainbow foam that's taste safe for babies. I have like tapioca pearls, so stuff like that they can get in their hands, get messy, that sort of thing, because some parents really shy away from that. So I try to do the stuff here that the kids may or may not get at home to help supplement. So we do either sensory play or a take-home craft. And then here, actually, I was going to show it later, but I'll just show it now. This was this week's take-home craft. We did little cupcake liner flowers. So they worked on their cutting skills with fancy scissors to cut the petals, and then they glued them onto the template and then glued the little pom-poms on. So yeah, little take-home crafts like this, and then the rest of the time, and that usually lasts about 15 minutes or so, and then the rest of the time is just playtime. I set up. We'll do a little tour later, but I set up a whole bunch of different play equipment in different stations so that the kids can explore and socialize. And what's really nice is it gives the parents a chance to socialize, because being up here as a parent can be very, very isolating and very, very lonely, because everybody is so spread out. Like I have friends in Quincy, I have friends in Portola, and then I have friends in Beckworth, and I don't get to see these friends all the time. But if we have a space where we all get to meet, then the parents get the chance to socialize. We get to continue and build our friendships because we all as a community watch the kids together. And as a parent, you are responsible for parenting your own child. Nobody's parenting each other's children, but we let the kids try to figure out their conflicts and try to figure out how to be little people. And the only way to do that is to let them be around other kids to do it. And the really cool thing is we have a wide range of ages. So I have babies, and then I have all the way up through 5, which is what my group, I'm babies to age 5, but I have older siblings that come because my own daughter is 7. So she tags along every week because she doesn't have a choice. But then, there's some other siblings who are 7, 8, 9 years old. So then there's this gaggle that gets to go hang out and kick some soccer balls a little bit further down the field away from the younger kids, but still get to hang out and participate and make their own friendships too. So we're trying to build a community here. I think when I said in the beginning that there was about 6 or 7 families that started when it was run by Plumas First 5. Since January of 2024, I now have, on average, 12 to 24 children and about 40 participants every week between children and caregivers.
Goodness.
Yeah, from all over. They come from all the different areas in Plumas County.
Wow, good for you, girl. How
Thanks.
rewarding is that?
It's incredible. It's so cool. And then I get the out of towners that like, oh, we're just visiting. We have a little vacation rental and we're here with our family and we're visiting. So then I get those fun ones that are here for the holidays and stuff, especially in the summer. And it's like, we don't have anything to do. Oh, there's this cool thing to do. Let's go check it out. And it's free. This is free for the community. I charge nothing. I refuse to charge anything. That's not the point. Yeah.
How rewarding.
Yeah.
Have you seen kids like blossom out of their shell, or
Oh, yeah.
what are some success stories for kids or adults?
So I have this great, I try to be really careful with privacy and I don't want to drop names, but I have this really cute little kid. Their family is actually, I'm emotional about this one. So,
Take your time. Take your time.
so I have this wonderful family that has been around since the beginning of playgroup, since I joined. And the mom is now on my board, which I love, and she has two beautiful little boys, and I have watched the oldest go from a baby, I'm talking a few months old. I think he was 4 months old, 4 or 5 months old when I met him, and now he's almost 2. And to watch his little personality come out, and he's just a little goofball, and like it's like watching your own kids grow, but like you're watching somebody else's kids grow, but you know you get to influence them and impact them and help them grow. And it is so dang cool. Sorry.
Two empaths crying together.
Right?
That is so awesome. I mean, it sounds like it's a way to make lifelong friends no matter what age you're in.
Exactly. So I mentioned at the beginning, I think I said, what we are right now is a playgroup that meets on Thursdays. I have a dream. I want Lost Sierra Kids to be a children's and family resource center, but primarily a children's resource center. I'd love for it to be in one of those little red brick buildings on Main Street. But imagine a place where there isn't anything for kids to do. There's no park here. There's no park in Grey Eagle. If we want to go to a park, we got to go to Quincy, or we got to go to Portola or Calpine. Those are our 3 choices. So there's no park here. There's no real activities unless they are like once in a while activities. And I mean like the fishing derby or, the 4th of July events or things like that. There's not things here for kids to do. So imagine you live here and all of a sudden there is now, you're looking for something to do and you go drive down Main Street and there's all these really cute shops and then there's Lost Sierra Kids. And any day of the week, we're holding kids' classes, whether it's a kids' art class, whether it's a kids' dance class, whether it's a kids' music class, whether it's a kids' building class. But they are all kids' classes. Now, I don't mean all babies to age 5 classes. I'm talking up to 18 years old because I want it to be a kids' resource center. And you are a kid until you're 18 years old. Technically, you're a kid until you're 26 when your brain stops developing, but I won't go there. In our world here, let's say till we're 18 years old.
And if you're a man, 60.
So you're looking for something to do, and we've got a calendar, and you're like, oh, there's this class I can do, and there's a drop-in. It's drop-in classes. You could sign up for, and it's a punch pass. Like, I don't necessarily want to do classes where we're, teaching a curriculum throughout the year. There's plenty of dance studios around here. There's plenty of other things around here that do this. I want, like, what Wild Pines does with their art classes, where it's like a one-off class. But I want one-off classes for kids. And then... Or maybe we also just have open hours where we're open from 10 to 6 and you want to come in and play, or you want to come in and create something, or you want to just come in and hang out. And it's a safe, welcoming space to do that. How cool would that be?
I think it's very needed.
Yeah, it's so needed in this area. There's not much for kids.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in Grey Eagle for kids. Like, it's not. It's an adult retiree town. So, but there are kids that live here. Like, there are a lot of kids that live here. So, yeah, I want to build something.
Well, I think you just spoke it into existence, so I'm sure it will happen.
If you build it, they will come.
Yes, exactly.
That if you built it, they will come.
How can the community help you through this journey?
To be honest right now, funding. Since January of 2024, I have funded it myself. As a stay-at-home mom, that's really tough to do. I have had some wonderful families donate. I have a little donation can that I put out every week. So for families who can and are able to, they can give back. But it's not required, not necessary by any means. But right now, probably funding. I think that's the biggest thing because that would open doors where we could then be a 501c3. Then once we're a 501c3, then that opens up to grants. Then once we open up to grants, so far. Not to toot my own horn, but I have a 100% success rate with grants. And I've written about a half a dozen so far, and I have yet to be denied. So once I'm a 501c3, I can apply for grants. Then once I apply for grants, then I can get community partners, and I can then get a whole bunch of other things to then be bigger and grow. Mm-hmm. So that's probably the best way right now.
To get to that 501c status.
That's my first step, I think. And then once after that, then I see where we go from there. Mm-hmm. But that's my first hurdle right now.
Grants are no joke.
Grants are no joke. But I do have to share some super exciting news I realized I hadn't shared yet. As of, I believe, July 1st, this is not wood, but I'm going to knock on it anyway. I still have to sign the contract, but I just got it in my email. La Sierra Kids is now partnered with Plumas First 5.
Yay!
But we are still our own standalone organization. But what that means is we are now a resource for those that go to Plumas First 5, which has numerous amounts of resources they do home visits. I don't know if moms know this. So I'm going to toot about Plumas First 5 here for a second. Plumas First 5 does home visits for moms that have babies to age 5, where they will literally come to your house free of charge to give you parenting advice. They do lactation support. They do all sorts of other resources that if you go to big cities, you have to pay to get that stuff. Plumas First 5 is giving it to parents. You just have to ask. Then they have all sorts of other resources. They have a playgroup now we are the playgroup here in Grey Eagle. But there is now a playgroup in Quincy. There is a playgroup in Portola. And there is now a playgroup in Chester. So they now have re-expanded their playgroups. So that's super exciting. And they have so many wonderful resources that you absolutely, if you are a mom of a baby to age 5, you need to go check out Plumas First 5. So yay, thank you, Plumas First 5. And then in addition to that, Plumas First 5 is now also giving La Sierra Kids funding for me to expand our toy offerings, our music offerings. I'm going to be revamping our music program to offer a monthly module that will rotate. So the theme will change every month where we're learning new themes, new ideas, new concepts, new music. And then in addition to that, they're also going to be providing me with training so that I can be a better resource for the parents and the community with diversity, with dads with parenting, with those that are under hard times, abuse situations. There's this huge 111-page packet I'm going to be going through that's a large amount of hours, but I'm going to be getting so much more information to be able to then give that back to the whole community. It's incredible.
I think it's so beautiful how passionate you are about it.
Thanks.
Was it a hard transition going from Reno to Grey Eagle? Because did you have the kids in Reno already? So what was that transition like? Because there might be a lot of moms that could relate to that.
Really hard. Yeah. So I grew up in Carson. I was born in Sacramento. My parents moved us out to Carson when I was about 5 years old. So I grew up in Carson City, which is the biggest little town of nothing. It's another one of those places where there's not much to do for kids. We had a roller rink and a pool hall, and that was it. That was what I remember as a teenager to be able to go do, neither of which are even in existence anymore, come to find out, in Carson. So now there's even less for kids to do. And the community pool, there's that too, but I wasn't a big swimmer. So I came from there, and then I moved to Reno when I went to college, and then ended up staying there. So when my husband, backtrack for a second. It's been a long day, and I feel everything through my tear ducts, which makes everything way more amplified. So working on settling that back down. So we came here 3 years ago because my mother-in-law passed away, and we are one. I love my mother-in-law, and I miss her dearly. But we are fortunate enough to live in the house that was hers and was her grandmother's. So my husband and I are the third generation. My kids are the fourth generation in our house. And when we came up here, it was a really hard transition for me because I'm going from Reno, which is the biggest little city, and now going back there, holy wowzers, it's huge and it's so overwhelming. Like, I struggle with my anxiety just being in Reno going, I don't want to be here. And to think 3 years ago I lived there every single day. But to go from where you're surrounded by people, and I mean surrounded by people, I could hear my neighbors' music in their house while I was in my house, and we're in houses, not duplexes, not apartments, no walls were shared, and I can still hear their music. To hear, I can hear the birds flapping overhead. Literally, I hear birds flapping. It is so quiet. It was really a shock. And I think more of a shock than I realized it was going to be. Totally told myself, I got this, totally got this, because that's just me. I'm like, nope, I go in there, go big or go home. You fake it till you make it. That's the Broadway way. So I was like, I got this. And even my sister-in-law was like, it's okay. Just give it a year and then decide. Then we moved here, and I don't remember if you lived here 3 winters ago, right? Okay.
That was a big winter, right? Yeah, that winter was really bad.
So let me paint this picture for you. We went on our first vacation as a family to Disneyland. So we just go and spend 10 days in California, in LA, and we come home where all the roads are starting to close on the way home. We had a detour through Monterey because there was a rainstorm. So I'm like, at least we can go through those roads. And then we ended up coming home, I think, forgive me, love, if I get the story wrong, but I think we came home on 49, but it was really, really windy. I think we came through Downeyville. It was the kind of neighborhood where you lock your car doors and you don't stop the car, especially because it was dark and we were driving my minivan that is not all-wheel drive, and there was 6 inches of snow on the road, and it was just dumping. So my husband is wonderful. My husband is an ex-truck driver, so I'm like, you get to drive. I'm going to sit here and panic breathe in the back of the kids. I just don't do well with bad driving, adverse driving conditions. So he wonderfully gets us home. We get home. There's 2 feet of snow. We have to piggyback the kids into the front door. We have to shovel our way into the house because we've been gone for 10 days. It's been dumping snow. And then it proceeds to dump snow for the next, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months? I don't remember. We ended up with, I think, 12 feet of snow on our back deck we were measuring. That was my first winter.
So you probably had every thought.
Why did I move out here? Why did we do this? Why did I agree to this? But then we got through that first winter where I got way more comfortable with snow. Oh, and by the way, we have a wood-burning stove for heat.
Oh my goodness. So you're just constantly pumping in wood.
But constantly cold. Because if you're not near the wood-burning stove, the extremity parts of the house get really cold because there's not central heating and air. There's not central heating. Mm. So it gets really cold. So I was like, I bought this giant, he makes fun of me now, but the first winter I bought this giant, the kids call it my kangaroo pouch. It's one of those giant Sherpa wearable blankets that goes down to like my calves, and it's black and it has this giant pocket and a hood. The whole thing swallows me up. They call it my kangaroo pouch. I think I lived in that thing the first winter. I was just cold 24/7. But then I got through that first winter. And then we entered my first summer. My first summer of being a mom. My first summer of not working. Because the first summer we lived up here, I had quit. Sorry. The first summer we moved up here, I was still working. The second summer, I quit. So I entered my first summer of being a stay-at-home mom, of having things like finding things for the kids to do. We did swim lessons. We went to the Johnsville Gold Rush days. We did the 4th of July parade. We were in one of the parades in Quincy. I think it was the 4th of July, but it could have been the county fair parade. But we were in that parade too. And then we went and did the county fair. And then we went and did this. And we went and hiked Fraser Falls. And I feel like we did all the things to do around here. And I realized this place is so amazing. There is so much. I was just saying there's nothing to do with kids around here, but there is if you know where to go. You got to be outdoors. You have to be outdoors to appreciate around here.
Yes.
But oh my gosh, go take a hike on Fraser Falls if you have little kids. Not a hike. It's a glorified walk on a paved path. Like kids can do it. My 3-year-old can do it. Like he doesn't even have to be in the hiking backpack anymore. Like, and you get to see these beautiful waterfalls at the end that are they're still raging right now. So go see them before they dry out. And then there's going up to all of the Gold Lake. So you've got Gold Lake and then you've got Long Lake and you have all the lakes basin up there, which is just hoppingly beautiful. We were just up there last weekend and you can't beat it. And then you have deers in our front yard. My oldest girl is the animal whisperer. One of her favorite things about living out here is all of her animal friends. We have turkeys that roam our neighborhood, and then we have all the birds that come around, and we have deers, and then we have, just foxes and wild kitties and just all these crazy things. And it's really cool out here. It's really beautiful.
There's a lot of nature.
Definitely. It's a lot of nature, but it's beautiful. It can be really hard. It's hard, but hard in a good way. Yeah. It's hard in a way that you learn to get back to basics out here and you learn to get back to a simpler way of life, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool.
And now with your program, now there's socializing available.
Exactly. And now you get to come hang out with a whole bunch of other kids and meet new friends. And sorry, I'm losing all of my words because it's just, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude for everything I've been able to create up here in the last few years that I've been here. I'm really, really grateful that I have a really supportive husband that allows me to create these things. That today was at home building our float for the 4th of July. Just because, and he's going to be the one to pull it. And he's so supportive, and I'm really grateful. So thank you. I love you. And I have 2 kids that are now seeing what giving back to the community is about, because that's what makes a community. You don't get a community by, having a whole bunch of people who just happen to live in the same place. You get a community by people who come together to make something, to build something, to grow something. And my kids are getting firsthand witness of what I do to set up and what I do to build this. And they help me find, my oldest now helps me find stuff at the thrift store. Like I'll find this cool treasure. I'll show you one of them today because I set it out. A cool treasure. She's like, oh, we should get this to our play group. And so we'll get stuff for, and it's really cool. It's cool to bring that into the next generation.
How have they responded to seeing your program grow?
They just think it's a cool place where they get to hang out with all their friends.
Yeah.
And then all these cool toys. Like they just get to, I hope it means more to them than just a cool place that they get to hang out with all their friends. But realistically, I have a 7-year-old and a 3.5-year-old. So to them, it really is, I get to go hang out with all my friends, and my mom sets it up and she does some cool music and we do a fun art craft, and it's just a lot of fun and positivity. And I hope that that's what they're getting out of it.
I'm sure they are. I mean, that's got to be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it seems like no matter what you do, it's always music is kind of the common thread.
I'm trying to remember the quote because I really want to get the quote right. If music be the food of love, sing on. My whole life has been about music for as long as I can remember. I grew up listening to the Beatles. to Don McLean. I vacations with my parents was going out on tours, band tours. Like I would go out and see concerts. My first concert was John Denver before he passed away. I think I was in third grade.
Wow.
I remember that
He would
one.
love it here.
I know. Oh my God, right? So one of my biggest memories was we went and followed Boston, the rock band Boston. We went and followed their tour one summer, and I think we hit 4, 5, maybe 6 stops in a row, and literally were just following them. But we had backstage passes for everyone. So my dad built sites and worked for built sites for radio towers and radio stations. So he had connections with all sorts of radio stations, and so we were able to get. I might again, if you watch this and I'm getting the story wrong, forgive me. But I think that's how we were able to get these backstage passes or something along the likes of that. But it got to the point where we're standing in line and the band members come out, and Brad Delp, who was the lead singer, rest in peace, he would come out and bypass the first part of the line and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" and like give us hugs. And I'm like 14 at the time. I was 14 years old, and I'm like super nerdy with big glasses, and like, you go through the awkward stage of, the early teens. But it was like that was my childhood, was music. I grew up listening to music, singing music, being around music. So for me, music is just my second language. Like I can find a song that fits any occasion. I can find music that just can play in the background to just fit the mood. Yeah, I used to build mixtapes for all my friends.
I love that. I love
Right,
that.
burned the CDs in the 90s, in the early 2000s. If I'm not showing my age.
Did you use LimeWire?
Oh,
my
girl.
gosh. Who remembers
Dude.
LimeWire?
Dude, I killed computers with LimeWire. You've got mail. Dude, I could tell you the stories. But yes, music is just my second language. And so, yeah, everything I do has music in it somehow, some way. There's got to be music in it, even if it's just playing in the background.
And you offer singing lessons.
I do offer singing lessons. That is probably my heart's heart, the beating passion of my heart is voice lessons. I love working with kids. I love teaching the drama at the theater. I love doing La Sierra Kids and getting to work with the little babies. It also helps because I am done with the baby stage. I ain't having no more kids, but then I get to hold all the other babies, and I'm like, great, I just get to hold your baby and give it back to you. So, I love working with kids, but voice lessons are a whole another thing. I kind of briefly touched on it with the theater interview, but the voice is a muscle just like any other. You learn how to lift weights, you learn how to run a marathon, you can learn how to train your voice. But it's hard because you can't see it and you can't touch it, and it's not like lift this weight.
Right.
Like you have to be like, I have to think about what to do and then just hope the voice cooperates. And then sometimes it's like, nope, you got a frog in your throat and it just does not, or you lose your voice for no reason. If you had that where you just wake up with no voice and you're like, I didn't even scream the last day. Like, why do I have no voice? I have that all the time. So the voice is a finicky thing, but I am so nerdy about it. I have read and learned so much about how the mechanics of the voice work, and then how it works through adolescence and when your voice changes and what happens to boys and what happens to girls, because it is very different. And yeah, I'm a voice nerd. So yeah, I feel like as a kid you go through the rigmarole of your parents put you through all the music lessons, right? To find something that'll stick. It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, right? I went through piano lessons, couldn't practice worth a darn, so that went through. I did guitar lessons. I kind of liked that, but it really hurt my fingers. So
my
like
gosh, the calluses are serious.
Right. And then I also couldn't have nails. So when I was a teenager, I was like, well, I want the pretty nails. So like, well, I couldn't do guitar and do nails. So that went out the window. I did flute for a really long time. That one I did like. Because that works your brain in a whole different way. But I quit that, in middle school. I did handbells. Oh yes.
We love sophisticated girls.
Oh yeah, I've been part of Tintabulations. If you ever go through, they come through Portola twice a year. They do Christmas time, and they just came through with their spring concert. They play at the Methodist Church in Portola. I think it's the Methodist Church.
Is it girls?
mostly. It's run by a girl. Her name is Barb Walsh. It's run by a woman, run and founded by a woman. I could definitely connect you if you'd like to chat with her. She's in Nevada. But yes, I can absolutely. I'll put you in contact with her. She's a doll and she's amazing. There are men in the group, but it's run by a woman. Like Barb founded it, and it's her group. So I played handbells in middle school and then came back to it as an adult, kind of as an outlet when I had first had my oldest when she was an itty bitty baby. But singing is the one that stuck. Singing is the spaghetti strand that stuck to the wall. And I have 4.5 octaves of some singing voice to prove it, and not many people can boast that.
So does that mean you could do all the ranges, like alto, mezzo, soprano?
The only thing I can't do is incredibly low bass because I physically don't have the larynx to accommodate for those notes. But yes, I have everything from a tenor's range all the way up into coloratura soprano, aka whistle tones.
You could do the whistle note.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. Do you want me to give you another? Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's give it a second. There you go.
Bravo! Bravo!
That's from Queen of the Night, from Mozart, for anybody who recognized that one little 5-note pattern. But yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I was a choir nerd, so I just love singing.
Yay.
My grandma, we always have karaoke parties, and like
Yay.
she performed. In Sacramento, the Delta Queen.
Yes.
Yeah, she had some performances there. So.
My wonderful neighbor across the street used to pilot the Delta Queen.
Really?
She did. She used to pilot the Delta Queen.
She used to be a pilot?
She did. She used to pilot. She started from the very bottom and worked her way up to pilot it. She's got this thing in her house that has her name on it with like all. It's so stinking cool. She's an amazing woman. I'm also not going to share her name, but I love you. You know who you are. I'll find some way to get you to watch this because you have no social media, but I'll find some way.
Is she still a pilot?
No. She's retired. She's almost 80 now.
Is that what she did though, like for work?
Yeah, she's done a million things. She's one of those jack of all trades, done a million things. But yeah, that's one of her many things that she's done.
Cool.
Yeah.
I did stand-up comedy for a while, a little stint, and I performed on the Delta Queen like numerous times. And I was part of their murder mystery dinner.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did. I was the actress for there. But you know what? I'll tell you what, girl. I really wanted to play the role of the hitman, but have it be a hit woman. That's so funny, right? And
yes.
they said no, it's only hitmen.
Gender equality, people.
I'm like, you guys are really losing out on an opportunity.
Right. Hello, Black Widows. Hello.
Crazy.
There's so many things in nature that are female that are murderous. We're dangerous.
And we're better at it. Praying mantis.
Dude, I'm hatching those in my garden.
Are you?
I do. I have a little nest of them. I'm waiting for them to hatch because I have bug problems. So I'm hoping they'll eat my bugs.
Oh my gosh, me too. Yeah. The little like
aphids. Green aphids. They're all over. It's bad.
I don't know what to do. And they're ruining my houseplants. Mine are like little tiny black ones.
Neem oil or mix vinegar with dish soap and water and spray everything down. Don't do it when it's hot sun if you have outside plants because it'll burn it. But early morning or late at night, spray it all down. Just keep spraying it, keep spraying it, keep spraying it. They'll go away.
They're a menace. And
They're
I've tried the
horrible.
neem oil and it's like...
Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Right now I'm not having any luck with it. So I'm back to the soap and vinegar, seeing if that works.
Okay,
and waiting for my mantises to hatch.
Yeah. I might have to get some mantises from you.
Go to Gray's and Quincy.
Okay.
Yep, that's where I got them. They have ladybugs too.
Oh, I love ladybugs. So for the singing lessons, do you go to their house or do they meet you at the theater? Or
So most of my singing lessons are at the theater right now because bless the theater, they're allowing me to teach there because they're all about the teaching and the kids, which is amazing. So yes, I teach out of... Sorry, I had a bug on me for a second. Teach out of the theater, mostly. I do have the availability to come to your house for a slightly upgraded fee, only just to cover a little bit of gas, and I mean like $5. But I am fully mobile, so I can absolutely come to your house if that is easier and more comfortable for you. I definitely have a couple students that I do that for. And some people are just more comfortable in their own space, and I totally get that. So, yeah, I'm pretty versatile.
Do you need the piano to like do the...
I have a keyboard.
Oh.
I have a keyboard that I can bring with me. If one of my students has a piano already, and there's a lot of people that just like, I happen to have a piano, so that makes it really convenient. But I do have a keyboard if not. So that's what I use at the theater anyway, because the theater doesn't have a piano. So, yeah.
Perfect. Any additional anything before we wrap up and do the tour?
Yes,
I definitely want to
I
do the
do.
tour.
I have a tour planned.
Yes, we're doing a tour. Any words of wisdom or advice for moms that want to get out there and and need something else in their life.
Just come out and play with us. We are a wonderful group of moms who just want to love and include everybody and bring everybody into our fold. I have yet to meet a cranky mama up here. I really have yet to meet anybody. We all have bad days, but everybody that I have met is just a heart of gold. So if you're feeling shy, if you're not feeling confident, if you're like, oh my gosh, this just feels so overwhelming, especially if you happen to have either more than one kiddo or a new kiddo, you can get super overwhelmed with being like, dude, just getting out of the house is a lot. Come hot mess and all to this, because I promise you, ain't nobody care. Nobody cares. Legit, nobody cares. So bring your hot mess self and all. We will embrace you. Come do some music. Come make some arts and crafts. Come make some memories, and just come have some fun with your kid. We're just here to have fun.
And do the girls need to call first? Or
Nope.
just
I am
show
here
up?
every Thursday. Follow us on Facebook. You can find me at La Sierra Kids. I also have an email, lasierrakids@gmail.com, if you do want to email me and have specific questions. I am a one-woman operation, so have some patience if it takes me a day or two to get back to you. But yeah, follow us on Facebook, because I do try to meet, I'm going to say realistically, I meet 48 out of the 52 weeks of the year. I think there are inevitably a week here and there that I have to take off, but I don't take the holidays off. I don't take vacation time. I don't take weeks off. Well, the only weeks I have to take off usually is because my kiddo has some other engagement and I can't be two moms at two places at once. So that's usually the only time I have to cancel, is if my kiddo has something going on. So we meet every Thursday here at the soccer fields at 11. If you don't have social media, just come on by. I'm usually here at about 10:15-ish, starting to set up. But follow us on Facebook. If for some reason we're not at the soccer field, I always post on Wednesdays. I will post on Wednesday kind of what we're doing for the week. So if I plan to bring water play or sensory play that might get messy, I try to give parents a heads up so that their kiddos can be dressed appropriately. Also, if there happens to be an event, like this past week, there was a soccer camp going on at the soccer field, so we couldn't meet here, so we met at the park in downtown Grey Eagle. So I let everybody know via Facebook. But yeah, that's how you can reach me.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the tour.
Okay. Hi there. I'm Stephanie with La Sierra Kids. You can come play with us every Thursday at 11. We are here each week. I'm going to give you kind of a little bit of a breakdown. This is a simplified setup for what I set up every single week, but this is a little bit of what I do. So right behind us where we just were, this is my arts and crafts tents. You can see I have toddler-sized tables, and this is where we always do our take-home craft project. And then flipping around, we're then going to start by age breakdown. So I have my baby's carpet, and every week this setup will be slightly in a different order. However, the components are the same. So this is my baby carpet. I have age appropriate things. We're learning about emotional development. We're learning about size and shape. I have basic push through, cute little animal toys that also make fun sounds. But this is my baby corner. But then I have other rugs for other things. This is, I would say, my toddler corner, my make-believe. So I usually have a giant bin of puppets, my ice cream cones. This is my make-believe section. And then this is my all ages kiddos, where I have like usually blocks. This is my cool new find I just found at Quincy Thrift, which is so cool for fine motor skills. A cool fun block weaving. Block threading thing, but this is my all ages. So if you're a baby or if you are 5 years old, you'll find something fun here too. So then, because I start with music time, I always set out my carpets, and we'll do music time here. And then once music time is over, I have my bin of just fun instruments that I leave out the rest of the time for musical play. Each week I bring a speaker so that I have music playing, so you can play along with the music if you want to, but there's music going the whole time. So this is kind of music central. But this is my fun bin with the ants climbing all over it. But this is my fun bin of instruments.
Reality of living in the mountains, girls.
I know, exactly, right? But
Kids love ants.
Right, but I have just all sorts of fun. Fun things that do all sorts of different sounds. Fun different sounds.
Oh my god, I love that thing.
So, anyways, yeah. So this is music corner, and then we get into outdoor play. Especially in the month of July and August, I try to incorporate a lot of water play. So I will bring water tables. I have 2 big kiddie fishing pools that I turn into fishing holes. I have like floaty fish with magnetic reelings so that they can like pretend fish, and I actually put water in them. But yeah, this is kind of some of my outdoor play equipment. So I've got like stepping stones. But this really is good stuff for all ages. I always set out, this one kept trying to escape the whole interview. I was watching it. But I have a series of balls, balance beam. I have fun pickler equipment for the toddlers. But yeah, I try to just put out, hula hoops for everybody. But I try to just put out a little bit, embarrassing myself in my own commercial. Let's see, can I hula hoop? Sort of.
Hell yeah.
So I just try to put out a little bit of everything. Oh, and then my all ages corner, I have a expandable, that gets much bigger, but I did a bridge today, but I have a fun tunnel corner that is, all the kids love playing in that. So come play with us every Thursday here at the soccer field in Gray Eagle at 11 a.m.
Well, Gray Eagle in Plumas County, let's do our thing. Let's make it happen for Lost Sierra kids. And be sure to like and subscribe and share this episode if you know a mom that might want to come join the fun. That is Miss Stephanie's Christmas cup from Amber.